Alright, welcome back to Farm Sim. So, it is now December, so it's been a minute since I've recorded. So, gonna turn off the lights here, head out into this cold winter air. So, quick recap on what's going on. I'll actually head back inside to do that. Head upstairs to the computer, and let's take a peek. So, good precision farming. Go over here to yield. So as you can see, we have harvested field 41, field 42, as well as field 50 this year. So currently crops are growing in just this field, this unmarked field right here. 47 and then 43 are unplanted. So we need to start looking at what we need to do. So these have already been mulched. So looking at pH, don't think they need to be limed. So we should be good on lime. This field probably needs to have lime, but I'm not going to because I've already plowed it. I might lime it and then seed over it. So this field probably needs to be limed. So does 47. These have surprisingly good pH levels for not having any lime on them. I don't know. People have been logging into my farm and doing work for whatever reason. So I just, they need to stop doing that because it's just, that's not. Am I actually positive on money right now on most of this land? I'm negative on 47, but other than that, I'm positive on everything. Well, that's because I reset the values. It's not calculating, including, yeah, look at that yield. almost 25 tons out of both of these fields. Alright, so if I show total values, it'll show me actually, it doesn't show me how much I spent on the fields. Okay, well, that's fine. So, we have a little bit of work to do. I also have a contract up here, field 7, for cultivating, so we'll run up there and cultivate that here in a bit. Let's take a look at cattle. They have no food. Okay, that's not good. That's really not good. Okay, they don't have food. That's what we gotta do first. Okay. I don't know how they ran out of food. But I guess they went through all of that, hay that was in there. So, let's run over here. Where's the tractor? Ran all the way around the barn. Don't know which door the tractor's in. Alright, so let's run all the way over here. And let's go hook up to the mixing wagon and let's get these cows a full wagon of TMR. They're good on water, so none of them have been killed yet. But it's not looking good. Okay, so there's already some sort of TMR in here, so it looks like it needs to be added as a small bale of straw. Really, that's it. I think we just need, no, don't add straw. I think I'm gonna add silage. If I have a small silage bale, I'll add silage. Because looking at the values, I have the most wiggle room with silage right now, and I need to drag down the mineral feed mixture a little. So let's go grab right here a small bale of silage and chuck it in there, and hopefully that will drag me down enough. There we go. We have TMR in the wagon. Let's fucking go. And it's full too. Almost full. That's fine. Let's try to get this thing out of here. It doesn't turn too well. Kind of difficult to turn around in here sometimes. Alright. We got the feed for the cows. So let's get these cows fed before they die or lose any more productivity. Their health's already gone down to 0, which means they've already been gone a day without eating, which is not good. Of course, once they eat, it'll go back up to 100. I've been looking into figuring out, I still haven't figured out how much money cows can draw in at max value. So, I haven't found a video or anything on it. So we will we'll definitely have to take a look into that. If anyone in the comments knows, it'd be great to know. Tip side left. There we go. TMR. There we go. Now we're getting it. Come on, guys. Come on over here. Let's eat. Alright, we'll go ahead and make another wagon of TMR just to top them off so I don't have to deal with it. That TMR should last them a long time. They don't go through TMR as fast as they do hay. They do go through hay, and I believe they can eat grass as well. They go through hay and grass at lightning speed. It's crazy. I was getting concerned about that actually because I was watching the hay drop down so quickly over October, and I was like, am I going to have to feed these cows again? And I thought that I could wait till December, but apparently not. Because I do some of the times I open the server and then I go AFK so that other people can play. Like if I'm just doing stuff around the house, you know, I'll do that so that other people can play the game, but you know, sometimes it doesn't work out too well. Okay, so let's grab a big bale. Throw that in there. Then we need big hay bale. Throw that in there. And then let's go ahead and take a look at the values. So as you can see, hay is super high right now, or straw is super high right now, but the hay will be dragging that value down right to where we need it, in between the two arrows. We need very little mineral feed to maintain cattle, so let's go ahead and add silage now. You want to add, I think you need more silage. The old ratio used to be, before I even looked at values, it was just 2 silage bales, 1 wheat, or 1 straw, 1 hay. That was it. That was exactly how you made TMR, but it's changed now because the wagon's a little bit bigger. I think it's still pretty much, it's still similar. Let's watch these values change. So that way I know what I need to do. I might have to add in 1 more silage, and I think that's what I'm going to do. So maybe it is still similar, but now they added mineral feed and it changes it very slightly. And they have different bale sizes, which is another thing I'm getting concerned of, is I'm kind of running low on silage already. Oh, and we're synchronizing. Just sitting here synchronizing. It always takes forever with recon for whatever reason. I don't know why. There we go. Why are you... No, the values are wrong. It's got more straw. Alright, so here's what we'll do. We'll take this down. I think the problem is I'm using big straw bales. And I don't think I can do that. So we'll have to figure out a way to compensate for that. I'll have to figure that out. Maybe drop the bale in and then pick it back up. I don't know. It's just and it's just barely over. It happens. I think it's happened the last few times I've made TMR, where I've had it go just slightly over. All right, so let's just pour a little bit into their feed. Perfect. Okay, now we technically had. I think we do have TMR now, but I'm gonna add mineral feed to even further our mixture. This tractor sure is slow with a full load in there. So they should have, yeah, they'll have like a little bit of hay that'll, I guess, be like an emergency supply. But we're going to pull up right here because I believe there is TMR inside of this silo. Or a mineral feed. There's our mineral feed. Start filling, mineral feed, start. Perfect. Just enough mineral feed to make this into a good solid TMR. I think adding the mineral feed doesn't really do all that much. I think it just makes it last longer. So you're not burning through mineral feed as much. Or not burning through mineral, but burning through your TMRs quickly. And what I can even do is I can pre-make a lot of TMR if I really wanted to. I could pretty much pre-make all of my TMR for a while. I'll probably do that if I ever buy a new, like another bale barn or something to put bales in. Which if I do, it'll end up being over here. But like this TMR, the stuff I've left over, I'll just dump that in my multigrain silo. Because I can put anything in that silo. It's got the equipment to put everything in it. So we'll just go ahead and throw, I can put water in it, which I normally don't, but I think there's a little bit of water in. Because for whatever reason it just loaded out of my trailer when I drove by one day. Alright. And this is gonna load, yep. Total mixed ration in there, and there's a little bit of water. Alright, let's go ahead and put the TMR away, the wagon away. Alright. Now, wouldn't be a really good farm sim video without cultivating or doing some sort of field work. So we'll go ahead and grab the cultivator from the barn. Now I don't know if I want to take the semi up. It's a long drive. It's not like super long. First time I played this game, I was in these fields right here. I was this whole area where this farm is. And literally doing any contract was like impossible. Like these ones that I do sometimes. I mean, those ones are pretty far away. I normally use a semi truck regardless of them going up there. That because those contracts require a lot of equipment, even from here. But there it was just annoying. But right now I'm like centrally located on the map. I think I actually am in the center of the map. That's where my property is. Yeah, just about. So I'm not too far from anything, but that is a really long drive. So I might take the semi-truck. Yeah, we'll take the semi, why not? It's just another excuse to use it. I need to use it. I like using it because I feel like a lot of people, when they do farm sim, the people that I play with, they complain. It's like two sides. Either they have everyone has semi-trucks, or just like one person. If I ever have a semi-truck, it's always caused issues because then everyone wants to have a semi-truck. And then it's like, why do you guys even need a semi-truck? And then, you know, they start getting defensive, like, why do you need a semi-truck? I feel like Recon on this map is like, me and him are one of the only two people that require semis. I feel like the other farm does not move equipment enough to have one. They could use a grain cart easily. They don't need that massive semi. The other farm doesn't even have a semi. They're a very small farm, as they just started out. Let me get this above the dovetail there. Drop it. There we go. Dovetail won't hit it. Let's fold the ramp up. And we're off. I gotta put 3.2 hours on my semi, which I think is the most in the game. And that's just because I use it to transport the cows. When I first got the cows, I used it to transport the cows. It was before I had that little livestock trailer, which I bought like 70% off, which is the only reason I have it. I do plan on ordering a semi one because I am going to be doing a lot of cattle transport when I get once the cattle get really going. We'll definitely be doing a lot more cattle transport for obvious reasons. Let's not hit that cone there. Is traffic on? Hold on. Traffic is on. It's weird. Nope, there's cars. So yeah, we don't have a lot of need for a semi-trailer right now for the cattle because there's not that many, but I do plan on ordering a lot more of the Angus cows for beef production, and when I get those going, there's going to be a lot of moving a lot of cattle at once to sell to bring to market. Right now, I'm not bringing any cattle to market. I'm letting them build, letting them just gain value as well as reproduce. There's two ways you can play it. You can either spend a bunch of money and have a lot of cows, or you can have what I did, which is buy a decent amount of cows and then wait and let them reproduce, let them build up. Now, regardless of what you do, either ways you do that, it is a waiting game 100%. You're not getting out of waiting for those cows to gain value because, you don't have to wait. You're just not going to make a lot of profit. Like, you can spend 100K and buy, a bunch of beef cows and then wait like 6 months of them to gain value of like $500. Still gain $500 of value, then you sell them all. It's just not a very high return on the investment, but it'll work. Like, you'll make money. I prefer not to do that. That's why my cattle are sitting at, well, they're sitting at 1,500 because somehow their value dropped, or their when they didn't eat, their value dropped, which isn't a big deal because I'm not planning on selling those cows anyways. I'm not bothering with you, Recon. Just ignore him. Does he need perms or something? Could have just texted me. Maybe you don't leave your fucking farm. Like, I get it. Like, they leave their farm to go do stuff on other farms, but like, I haven't asked anyone to leave their farm and join mine in a while. Like, I was doing the AFK thing the other day, and I got a message from one of our members that was like, I need perms back on my farm, and then I got back online today, or before I started recording, and all my shit was in the wrong spot. So I was like, why the fuck were you on my farm? And he was like, well, I wanted to put your equipment away, and I was like, well, you didn't need to do that. This is like, the only equipment that was out was a mulcher, a tractor, and a cultivator. Like, it ain't that big of a deal. All of those pieces of equipment can sit out. I don't really care. So I was gonna do the harvesting contract for this field, but it's too far away. And if I do cotton, which is what this is or was, I have to get a cotton harvester, which means I have to take money off of the overall contract already. Normally, what I'll do is I'll grab like a decent payout contract, and I'll rent the equipment from that one, and then complete 2 other really good payouts with that equipment. Or I'll do as many as I can. But it's just too much of a hassle to transport the cotton harvester up here for like 1,200. Like, it's just too much money. Because I can't load a cotton harvester onto the semi, which means somebody to drive it, and the thing only goes like 19 miles an hour. So, we gotta pick your battles. Like, if I throw it in cruise control now, doesn't really look like there's field 67. I mean, why not? Why not? It's like 500 bucks. It'll take me 0 time at all to complete that. Let's turn the cruise up. Lift the cultivator. Line it up right here, should be good. And we're off. Turn on cruise control. A little bit off alignment, there we go. Now we're good. So it looks like I have 1 row from the tire, is what my limit is. So you can see where my tire's lined up on that, look at the center of the steering wheel. It's on that row, and then my 2 tires are lined up for the row next to them. The row next to those is where the cultivator ends. So that's what we're going to use as our markers here for lining up for the crop. Then we just have to keep it straight, which is surprisingly difficult to do. Because you don't have it straight at the start. I mean, you can have it straight at the end. You just got to do a lot of playing with the wheel. Alright, there we go. Line the tires up. Drop it. And we're off. Turn cruise on. There we go. Alright, there we go. So, yeah, like I like what I was saying. It's just not worth it to drag a lot of equipment further, and that's why I want to replace that semi-trailer over there, because that semi-trailer it's a good length. I like the length of it. It's the back of it's very annoying because of how steep it is. It's got a very steep ramp. Don't like that. And it's got a lot of other issues as well with the back of it, like how the actual ramp functions. It's not good for loading a lot of equipment. Especially longer equipment. Anything that's slightly long at all. Like, let me give some examples here. The Batwing, even though that's not that long, it's really low and flat. Won't go on that trailer. It just won't fit on that trailer for whatever reason. Because, well, I know why. It's because it's got that stupid hinge because of how steep the actual trailer ramp is. It scrapes the bottom and bottoms out and ends up all fucked. So I didn't even see it from there. Like, that is a very steep ramp and I don't like that. So I would prefer it if it had a longer ramp. It's also got a stupid hinge on the ramp that prevents you from loading a lot of other types of equipment or even getting anything that sits low. The Batwing is another piece, is one of those where it sits kind of low to the ground. It just won't pull it off the trailer. Like, you're gonna have to drive it off the side of the trailer. You're not getting it off. A couple other things with it is it's barely not wide enough to fit a combine on it, which pisses me off. I wish if it was just half a meter wider on each side, not even half a meter wider, on each side, it would be. First of all, it would still be a similar width to the semi, so it wouldn't be too wide to fit in a lane, but it would also be able to fit a combine. My combine, my new one, is not fitting on any semi-trailer anytime soon. The old one, the Claas Tucano, it would have fit on a semi. Helper D. I didn't hire a helper. I don't know where there's a helper working. Alright, so, every time that happens, I lose my entire train of thought. Yeah, so, there's a lot of issues with that trailer, and I want to replace it. And it's old, too. Like, I think I'll get a little bit of money out of it. Someone on the server is going to buy that fucking thing. I already know it. Someone's going to buy it. One of these idiots going to fucking buy it. And then they're going to be like, well, it was on sale. And I'll be like, yeah, well, this isn't the logging server. And even on the logging server, I don't run those things anyways. I don't like them. The fellers are cool. For delicate work. And even then, like a guy with a chainsaw, in my experience, actually works better. Like, from what I've done on the past logging maps that I've had, it's just the chainsaw is a little bit less accurate. Yes, you're not going to be as accurate as a tree feller, but it's actually faster. Like, you're working more efficiently. I think we'll probably own a feller at some point on the new logging map. Like I said, I still haven't even gotten it because right now me, Recon are the only ones with Platinum expansion, and I don't even have it installed right now. So we've been waiting until we can get other members in here that do have the Platinum expansion. We have 2 other members in the server that have yet to actually play that do have the Platinum expansion. And that's going to be Hick and Echo. So, we're super excited to get into the logging. I'll probably end up running a loader like normal, unless Recon decides to argue with me about it, which he's not going to win because I'm faster at him with a loader anyways. And he's not around enough on the logging map anyways. Or I'll end up running a yarder. I do love felling trees. I like cutting down trees. That is definitely a fun part of working on the logging map. But, it just depends on how much land we own. Also, may do it differently this time. The last time I did a logging map, I don't think I streamed a couple times on it, but I don't think any of them ever made it to YouTube. Last time we did a company was a Red County Logging, I think, based off of RCRP. It was the RCRP's official logging server. So we had a lot of people on it. And we did one big company where essentially I was the site foreman for the actual, like, where we're cutting down trees and all that stuff and loading, and then Hick was the shop foreman. He would deal with all of the equipment, and then the moving and dealing with all the trees after they get down the mountain. So it was a really interesting. I liked it. I loved that, how we had that set up. But we're probably going to do it differently this time. I haven't decided yet. We may do everyone has a different company, and you can hire workers. It's going to be like this, where everyone has their own different little farm. But you never know, because looking at this right now, we're at 2,100 slots. So yeah, so my trailer's got 1.4 hours, 60 months on it. It's worth a little bit less than what I bought it for. So we have to deal with slots, and I know logging equipment does take up a lot of slots. So we're definitely going to have to look at that before I make any decisions on what I'm going to do. But yeah, I'm really excited to get into that because I love the logging. Like, the Platinum expansion is so much fun. And I know not everyone on the server is probably going to get it, because a lot of them are cheap. Not that that's a bad thing. They're conservative with their money. That's a good thing. But they do make stupid ass arguments as to why, though. I keep on thinking of that stupid fucking argument. Well, you can just do logging on this map. Like, it is Platinum expansion logging and doing both. Like, last summer, me and Hick did our first logging roleplay map. It was pretty much just me and him. We had a couple other little workers, but it was pretty much just me and him. It was like 11 hours of logging on that map. Just me and him. And all in one sit down. Like that we did way more total, but that was just all sitting down one day. Now we've done close to that. I think I've played like 6 or 7 hours on this map in a row. I streamed for almost 6 hours like a week ago. I do plan on eventually doing maybe in like a couple weeks, if I can get some people online, doing a 24-hour farm sim stream. I do want to do a 24-hour farm sim stream and a 24-hour American truck sim stream, but if I do that, I want to have my wheel, so I've got to wait until I go up to DC and get my wheel, because I don't have it. I haven't bought it yet. but the guy's holding it for me until I can head up there, so I've gotta, I gotta hop on it now before he decides to sell it to someone else. I mean, it's been on Marketplace forever. Like, I bought the wheel on Marketplace, or I guess found it, and it's been on there for months. 'Cause I saw it, like 6 months ago for the first time, and I was like, ooh, I wish I could afford that. And then he dropped the price from like $250 to $100, and I was like, I can do $100 for a steering wheel that's worth $400. So I've got to head down there and pick that up. But yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. And I don't want to do that one alone as well. Truck Sim by yourself is very, very boring. That is definitely a game you have to play with friends. And I've got maybe some people that might be willing, but I haven't talked to them in like a year or two, that play Truck Sim a lot. I might hit them up and be like, hey, do you want to play for Truck Sim for like a day straight? Try not to catch air on this bridge. Yeah, so like this farm, I don't like this farm all that much. I think he's got an okay setup, like building-wise, where his buildings are and stuff. I think he's wasted all of this room out front by his stable. I think he could fit another field in there. And I don't see the point in not putting a field there. Like, I've fit fields pretty much everywhere I can on my farm. Like, that's just wasted land. Okay, let's throw on the beacons here. Alright. And then we'll pull it forward a little bit more. Here's good. And let's drop the ramp. Take the straps off. Let's go ahead and lift this. And unfold. Yeah, see, I just scraped the shit out of the side of my cultivator there. Okay, so this is 67. This is the field I'm doing. I haven't noticed yet. There's a lot of cotton fields that I'm doing, mainly because October is cotton harvesting and soybean harvesting season. There weren't too many soybean fields this year, so I think I had the majority of the soybean, which means I won't have much competition on my market, which I'm fine with. I don't think any of the other farmers are fucking with soybean or doing anything like that. They're doing, I think they're doing a lot of grain crop, which makes sense for Recon because he's got grain production. Like, he literally owns all of the grain production. And then I don't know why this farm over here is doing grain, doing a lot of grain. I don't. They did their primary crop, I think, is canola, but they also do a lot of oat and wheat. So, which I think they're doing for their animals to make their farms self-sufficient, which isn't a bad thing. And then, I don't know, I have no idea what the other farmer's doing, honestly. Like, I have no clue. They haven't been in long enough for me to see at all what their plan might be. I know mine, and that's I want to own the dairy. I want to own dairy production, and then, I'm going to experiment with sugar. If sugar turns out well, then damn well I'm going to run that market too. But yeah, so that'll be a lot of interesting when I do. Shit, Jesus Christ. I keep on getting distracted because phone keeps fucking going off. Yeah, so it'll be really interesting when I see how much money I can make with the sugar, and as to whether or not I actually make that purchase. As I've said earlier, I think in the last video, I don't know if that video ever got uploaded. I do have a lot of videos that I make on FarmSim that don't get uploaded, especially when I'm with Recon, because Recon will say some shit that's not, I don't want to put on my fucking video. So, yeah. Ignore him. Another thing I'm working with is the Forza stuff. I played a little bit of Forza yesterday. I didn't really record anything yesterday because I was doing a lot of errands yesterday. I had to take a lot of shit to the dump. A lot. So we took all that stuff out to the dump, and, no time to play FarmSim or Forza. I did open the server yesterday, but I just didn't play. So, Forza.
working on getting some new content for that, because I feel like Forza is going to be a little more interesting to watch than Farm Sim or Truck Sim. Truck Sim and Farm Sim can be very boring to watch. Like, I do know that, especially since we're not really doing much except for literally farming on this map, and you know, I don't. It's more of like a learning process of everything that's going on right now, really. So we do intend on like building some actual Farm Sim roleplays, like, you know, an 80s Farm Sim roleplay. I think it'd be a lot of fun. Instead of a legitimate farm, because this is straight up a farm competition at this point. I mean, everyone's kind of going up against each other. So what I want to do is do something like that, where it's actually a cooperative farming roleplay, where excuse me, it's like a, you know, legitimate roleplay. You know, no breaking of character or anything like what we've seen the last time I was playing with a lot of other people. So that's definitely something that should be coming in the future. That I think will be a lot more fun, instead of, you know, what this is, which is just really a fun farm game that we role play on sometimes. So yeah, other games I'm looking at though is possibly getting Elder Scrolls up, Skyrim, and streaming Skyrim, which should be a lot of fun because I've got a shitload of hours on Skyrim, on both my PlayStation and my Nintendo, and my Xbox, and my Xbox 360, and my PC. I don't have Anniversary Edition on the PC, which is what I want to play, because I haven't actually played the Anniversary Edition, which it would be boring to stream the normal version. I played a lot of Skyrim, so I should have no issues with any fucking quests at all. Surprisingly, I don't play on like a super high difficulty, even though I've played it through so many times, just because Skyrim can get very repetitive. Up to the point where I'd even call it just like a clicking, I forget the name. I feel like it can get very repetitive, where you're just kind of clicking the same button over and over again. Now, obviously not all of the combat is like that, but a lot of I feel like the sword combat in that game is very, very repetitive. You're just kind of clicking R2, or whatever button it is. Whether that's RB or RT, or I think it's right click on PC. I don't know. I don't play on mouse and keyboard. I'm not a fucking maniac. I'm not an uncivilized person that plays on mouse and keyboard. I don't hate playing on mouse and keyboard. I play Arma on mouse and keyboard, but it hurts my hands. Which people are like, oh, you're an amateur, and it's like, yeah, well, I've been playing on controllers since 2006. Actually, it wasn't 2006. It was like 2008. I think when I got my first at all gaming console. I think the first real console I got actually was so it was obviously the Super Nintendo. It was the first console I ever got. It was an old hand-me-down Nintendo. But I also got, I think even before I got my Xbox, I got a PlayStation Portable. So I had a PlayStation Portable, and I played a lot of Star Wars on that thing. First of all, I had ATV Off-Road Fury, which, if you've never played it, is so much fun. Don't remember anything about it. All I remember is the fact that Nirvana plays in it, and that was the first time I ever heard a Nirvana song. And because my parents listened to country music, so didn't listen to a lot of like grunge. Not anymore though. Now one parent still listens to country music, and the other one listens to nothing but emo. So yeah, so, and then I also had Star Wars Battlefront Renegade Squadron, which was the first game I ever had on that. And then I think I had some sort of Batman game or something on it, or Lego Batman, I think, I don't know. I had a Batman game. And I know I had a Batman game because the case to it was Batman. So yeah, then I had the Xbox 360, and then I had an original Xbox somewhere. I think that's downstairs. I never had a PlayStation 3, and I'm glad, because I played on a PlayStation 3 one time and I hated it. Well, you can't argue. I mean, even people that play on the PlayStation 3, like Recon even agrees with me on that one. The Xbox 360 was just not even a fucking competition. Was not a competition how good the Xbox 360 was compared to the PlayStation 3. It was so much better in every aspect. I hate the PlayStation 3. I hate the controls. It's just so stupid. I hate the controller. The controller is pretty similar to it is the same layout, essentially, as the PlayStation 4, obviously, and even the DualSense is a similar layout, but the material was cheap. The controllers felt cheap. I like the DualShock controllers. I feel like they could be a little better, though. Like the Xbox One controller I'm playing on right now has lasted me since I got my Xbox One. Now, obviously, there's nowhere near as many hours I put on it than the PlayStation controllers, but still, I've never had stick drift or anything go wrong on an Xbox controller. It's only ever been PlayStation ones, and I hear the DualSenses don't do that at all. So, I don't know. We'll find out, because I'm planning on actually possibly getting a Xbox Series X, but I don't know. I'll probably get the PlayStation 5 for that, because why do I need a Series X when I can play every game on the Xbox on the PC? Just doesn't make sense for me to buy one. But yeah, well, thank you guys for watching. Pretty decent video today. Had a little bit of field work, and then obviously feeding the cows, and just a lot of me rambling on and on and on and on and on. But thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.